Here comes another exciting episode of Top Hat Gaming.
Alright, hey, I'm going to make this video mostly talking about why I like Nintendo, why it's my favorite, how I grew up with it. I'm wearing my Taekwondo outfit because I have to go to that in a few minutes, but I decided to just film real quickly because I'm bored. First, let me just get into why everyone else should at least appreciate them. They help create many different genres, many different characters. Literally the most well-known video game character of all time is theirs. They also help popularize motion controls and handheld gaming. So those are just things that everyone should at least appreciate them for. Have some respect for how innovative they were. They in general just made console gaming popular. There's a pretty big chance without them we'd probably only have arcades and PC gaming, no like Xbox and stuff, just because they helped make it popular and kind of help bring it back to stores. Anyway, onto the actual part of like why I like it. Okay, these are the three main characters that I grew up with when I was very little. Link, Mario, and Pikachu. Even though I wasn't a big fan of Pikachu when I was younger, I thought he was overrated, but now I kind of appreciate him for being the icon that he is. Okay, well, when I was very little, less than 1 year old, my dad would often feed me. I would wake up late at night, my dad would usually feed me and play Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which is I actually didn't realize this is the specific Link from Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Shrine. Okay. So I kind of got exposed to that when I was less than 1 year old, and most of why I became a Zelda fan, I want to say. I would sit in my dad's lap, and I don't remember it at all, but I would just watch him play Ocarina of Time. Apparently, according to them, the first game I actually ever played was Donkey Kong 64, which means I probably was about 1 year old when I actually started playing, but I don't remember that at all. And honestly, I don't remember most of that game and don't really care much about it, because it doesn't look that... I mean, it looks fine. It's just a weird looking game. Next, the first game I actively remember like being my own game that I owned. I know there were others, but before, but the first game I remember is Pokemon Platinum. I should have got Lucario for this because he's actually from Pokemon Platinum, but whatever. I made that choice and I have to suffer through it now with Pikachu. So, basically, Pokemon Platinum, I loved it. It was a very interesting experience for me. It's the first game where I get to make choices. I get to name these creatures. I get to choose ones I capture. I restarted the game after getting almost done with it because someone told me I got a free legendary Pokemon if I restarted the game as a girl. I didn't. And then I tried like 7 more times after getting... I restarted that game a lot because I kept leaving rumors. I was like a little kid though, so yeah, I remember finally making it to the end of the game where you battle Cynthia, who is often considered the hardest final battle in Pokemon. I tried my best, and eventually I threw a fit and traded the game in. Yep, and to this day it's still my favorite Pokemon game. Never beat it because I was a whiny little kid. But then again, Cynthia's like known to be way too hard for a kid's game, so it kind of makes sense. Next is Mario. This is actually Super Mario World. It's still to the day my favorite 2D Mario game. Mario Sunshine being my favorite 3D one, even though a lot of people don't seem to like it. First game I ever beat on my own. Fun fact, my cousin Lexi, who was not in the gaming very much, I remember her beating it before me because she had, either her dad or she had a copy of it or something. I don't remember. They played it somehow, I don't remember. And that was the entire reason I beat it, out of jealousy. I perfectly like mastered everything just so I could beat it, just because I didn't want... It was, okay, I think it was Lexi. It was one of my cousins. Anyway, yeah. So I just trained to beat that game just because I wanted to be better than one of my cousins. I was a little kid, and I was just immature. Yeah, I was like really jealous. I think it was Lexi. I don't really remember. I was really jealous that one of my cousins beat the game, so I had to beat it too, basically what happened. And that's how I got into all three of these characters. To this day, Legend of Zelda is still my favorite series, but I have opened up my mind to many different other series, as you're about to see when I introduce some more. Okay, next three. I don't remember who was in it, but basically there was I bought the 3DS first. Like, I bought it the day it came out. I don't say first. Yes, I was the first person in the world to ever play one. No, I'm not gonna lie and say I was like that. My uncle works for Nintendo. No, I'm not one of those guys. I don't have an uncle who works for Nintendo, and nor would I lie about that like a lot of people do. Have you ever heard that joke? I'm assuming you guys have, like, kids along with the playground and stuff would like lie and say that their parents work for like a certain game. Face the right way. Have some respect. Would like say that for like attention and stuff. Anyway, but the thing is, a few months later, the 3DS wasn't selling well. It would have it would eventually go on to be one of the best selling like things ever. Talking makes me thirsty, but for a while it wasn't. So for people who got it first, when they put the sell down, they gave them a bunch of free game, which also got me exposed to Metroid. But that's not one of my favorite series. I still love it, but it's not ranking as much with these guys for me. It also got me exposed to a bunch of other games. They were like Game Boy Advance games and like NES games. Like you got a bunch of free games, and one of them actually became one of my favorite Zelda games, the Minish Cap. But one of them was a game that I didn't know about, I didn't understand, and it confused me and it was weird, but I ended up loving it. Fire Emblem. I almost said Final Fantasy. Yeah, this is probably not the right Fire Emblem character. I don't remember what characters were in the game at all. All I remember was Fire Emblem, so I don't... yeah. Basically, what happened... Fire Emblem is a game where if you die, you stay dead unless you're one of the main characters. So, like, you have, like, all these soldiers that are all important to you, and they can just die. They can just leave. And I thought that was super cool. I thought it was kind of cool that, like, they had their own stories. It was sad when they left. So I loved it, and I started playing other Fire Emblem games. I have Awakening now. Oh, I had Awakening. Fates. I had all the DLC for Fates. That was awesome. Awesome series. Super cool. Yeah, and then that's around the time I got into Kirby. I grew up kind of during a time when a lot of Kirby games were, like, Kirby Pinball and Kirby, Kirby Puzzle games. Like, when I was, like, young, there were no regular Kirby games coming out. They were all before or after that time period. So, but around the time of the Wii, none of these were, like, the same period they got into. Just kind of, like, examples of what I like. And, I mean, yes, they are, but just, it's hard to explain. I got Kirby's Return to Dreamland on the Wii, which was amazing. I played with my friends, played with my brother, played with my brother's friends. Actually, it happened because they came over one day and were really bored. And I had the game, and one of them liked Kirby a lot, so they started playing it. And I think I had to tell them to leave my room at some point because I got really tired. I don't remember exactly. I love Kirby. I'm super excited for Kirby for the Switch. Yeah. By the way, just because the character's not up here doesn't mean they're not one of my favorites. There's just no important reason for them to be up here. Like, nothing dealing with why I like them so much or, like, a history behind it and how it got me into Nintendo. Next is Little Mac from Punch-Out! When I was little, fairly little, my dad used to play the original Punch-Out! Except he played the Wii edition, but it was still the Virtual Console, so the old one. And, well, I guess it wasn't the original, because it wasn't Mike Tyson Punch-Out! It was Punch-Out! Featuring Mr. Dream. I could never get past Von Kaiser, the second fighter. My dad was able to get, like, halfway through the game each try. Later on, I would play the actual Punch-Out! Wii, not the Virtual Console, the actual, like, new game. And I remember beating that and being so excited. I loved the characters and stuff. I love how Little Mac is based off of Rocky. And later on, I'd become addicted to the old Punch-Out! Again, and I actually ended up beating Mike Tyson. I played it on my PC at school when I was bored. I'm in my Chromebook, because I could go to punchout.com and play it, and eventually, well, I beat Mr. Dream, but they're the same character, except just swapped out because Mike Tyson did bad things, and they couldn't let him in a Nintendo game anymore. Anyway, this next set, on to my next part of, like, my history with Nintendo. Alright, well, first I want to talk about Animal Crossing. I don't have the Animal Crossing amiibo, but I do have an amiibo card. I just want to say I thought this game was really stupid when I first played it. I didn't understand that there were no battles or anything. I just didn't get it to trade in. And eventually, years later, I would go on to love the series. I'm sorry, I'm kind of out of view. Let me just make that a little bit better. There we go. I love Animal Crossing now. It's a city creating game, basically, and it's really cool. Then I would eventually, while trying to do some, like, research in old gaming, find out about the Mother/Earthbound series, and I discovered my boy Ness. I loved the game. I'd watched the full Let's Play of it. That was when I first started getting into, like, retro gaming, which I'm about to do another segment on, basically. And I just loved the idea of, like, it was, like, just a kid on a journey who had psychic powers. And then, Captain Falcon is here to represent Smash Brothers, not actually F-Zero. because I mean everyone knows him for F-Zero, for Smash Brothers, not actually F-Zero. Basically, I knew about the existence of Smash Brothers. I didn't care that much. I played around younger. I didn't realize that there were so many of them. There was history in it. And one day I was talking to a friend about Ness, and he's like, "Yeah, pretty cool that he's always in Smash Brothers." I'm like, he'd never been in a Smash Brothers before. What are you talking about? Yeah, it turns out he's in all of them, like even the original Smash Brothers. And I just never noticed because I never cared about the character before, so it always just escaped my mind. I didn't remember him, and I ended up playing more Smash Brothers than I used to, and I ended up loving it. For those who don't know, I probably talked about it before. I got into the hype train for Smash Brothers 4 about 2 years before the game came out, and every day I was looking up news and stuff. And I remember when Ness was announced to be coming back, I was so excited, even though he's in every game, so we know he's coming back. And then, by far, the most exciting part was either when Cloud or Lil Mac got announced. Mostly Cloud, just because no one expected him, and no one leaked that he was coming out. Anyway, so that's why I love Smash Brothers. And F-Zero is a cool series too. I just never got into it because it's racing games. I don't care much about racing games. And from Smash Brothers, from getting into that, I discovered a little character named Olimar. And Olimar was a very weird character, so I wanted to learn about his series. And he quickly became one of my favorite characters because Pikmin's amazing. It is a strategy game where you have these little plant guys, and you have to throw them around, plant them, get them to pick up things for you. Very hard to explain. Watch someone else play it, or watch me play it when I eventually do a Pikmin game on the channel, which I hope to do if there's a new one coming out soon. There's Hey Pikmin, but that's the 3DS game. It's nothing like any other Pikmin before. Anyway, on to, as I mentioned, I got really interested into retro games when I discovered NES. So on to when I talk about that. Alright, I actually went to Taekwondo in between that cut, and I changed, and now I'm good. My hair's all messy now. I mean, it's always messy because my life's a mess. Anyway, I'm kidding. Anyway, I like to have 8-bit games, old school stuff, so I just want to show you some 8. I already showed you a little bit with Lil Mac and Ness, but here are my old school amiibos, basically. Duck Hunt Dog. The amiibos themselves are not old school, they're based off old school characters. Duck Hunt's very interesting. He made his first appearance in Smash Brothers with Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS. Very cool character. And I just think Duck Hunt was like one of the first shooters to make it on a home console. I think that's pretty cool. Mr. Game & Watch, technically the first ever handheld character ever. And not even technically, he just is. Made by Nintendo. By the way, all of these guys are made by Nintendo. Everyone so far is made by Nintendo, actually. Everyone that I've put up. Or at least somebody that Nintendo owns. Like Game Freak owns Pokemon, and Nintendo owns Game Freak, or part of them. Yeah, basically, instead of it being like a Game Boy where you have the actual thing and you put a game in, each of them were their own games. These were made around the same time the arcades came out. Of course, technology wasn't that great, so it was just LEDs, but lots of game made for these. Eventually, they had a remake with Mario instead, but the original, he did Smash Brothers ever since Smash Brothers Melee, the second Smash Brothers, and then Rob Robot, these guys made in the third one. This is American and then Japanese, just because they were. I'll explain what Rob is. He was like a little toy that came with the system that could play games with you, own certain games, trick people into thinking it was a toy thing instead of a video game, so it sold better and then helped video games all together. Basically, this is for the NES. The gray one was the NES with the American console, and then the Japanese edition was the Famicom. That's why different colors. In America, in Smash Brothers, Rob is gray, but his second skin is red and off yellow, like the Japanese skin. In Japan, it's the opposite. This is his main skin, this is secondary, and of course there's other skins too. Yeah, I just really got interested in old school gaming. I probably should have brought Pit down here, because Pit's an old school character, but he had newer games too, so. Yeah, that's when I got interested in them. And then next I'll be talking about, actually I guess I should talk about more. I also love old video game facts. I love knowing, like, hey, Mario's old name was Jumpman, and that he used to be a carpenter instead of a plumber, and so much stuff that I've known for a long time, but, I mean, it's like, well-known facts now, but, like, when I was, like, in middle school, it wasn't, and I knew them. Anyway, this was, like, just a side part of the video where I talk about my old school stuff. Now I'm going to talk about characters that are not made by Nintendo, but are associated with them through my third-party characters. Alright. So, these are the third-party characters. All of them are in Smash Bros. Except for Shovel Knight, but these are just characters I'm interested in because they're associated with Nintendo. Technically, Shovel Knight's an indie character, but we can talk about him. First of all, everyone loves Pac-Man. I don't need to talk about that. I just want to say that Pac-Man World 2, I think it was called, on the GameCube, was an awesome game. He played with my cousin all the time, my cousin Matthew. Sonic, I've been in Sonic since I was little. I'm not a big fan of newer games. They all are kind of just lame to me, but a lot of them are cool. Gotta go fast. I got into Mega Man a few years ago. I used to have a super big Mega Man phase. I started collecting just a ton of Mega Man stuff and games, and I got real close beating Mega Man 8, I think it was called. And it was a pretty hard game. Street Fighter, not that into. I prefer Mortal Kombat, Injustice, and Smash Brothers, but overall great games. Ryu's an awesome character. Bayonetta, never played a game in Smash Brothers, so I think she's cool. Cloud, never played a game with him in it, but I played Final Fantasy. I love it. Also in Smash Brothers. Again, all these 6 are in Smash Brothers. Shovel Knight was an indie character. First, like, indie character I got really into. Now I'm into Binding of Isaac and others. I guess Minecraft was an indie game at first, so I was into that, but it's no longer an indie game, so it doesn't count. It's third party because they got bought by Microsoft. Well, I guess second party because Microsoft owned Mojang, making it a second part. Whatever. Shovel Knight was a really cool character. He could dig. He was an 8-bit character. I mean, he wasn't made during that time. He was just meant to be like, hey, here's a reminder of how games used to be. And he was a really cool, a really awesome company. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up with, by the way, again, the third part, much like the 8-bit character, the third-party characters, I don't remember when I got into all these guys, so I'm kind of going to wrap it up with, like, the last, like, first-party character that I recently got into. So, yeah. Okay. So, the last big ones I got into were Splatoon, because they're the newest, like, main Nintendo series, other than, like, the small ones, like Snipper Clips and stuff. They still make more, just the most recent new series. I could have done these before I did the third parties, because, like, Bayonetta and Cloud I didn't get into after, because they were DLC for Smash Brothers, so even though this came out after Smash Brothers, I think so. It came after Smash Brothers 4, I believe. I still didn't know the characters that well until this. So I just want to say, Splatoon's a really cool series. I really like the Squid Kids, or the Inklings, as they're actually called. A lot of people call them Squid Kids. Are they kids or squids? That's a terrible commercial. Yeah, they've just always been cool characters to me since I saw them. I really think they should be in the next Smash Brothers. It surprised me that they weren't DLC for this one. I guess maybe because their character came out after the game came out, they couldn't be DLC, I guess. Maybe that's a rule, even though they're still making DLC. Anyway, this is like the last like major step for me as like getting into Nintendo stuff and just like stuff I care about. There's still other games like I didn't go over Xenoblade, Kid Icarus, or any of those, or like any other third party like Monster and stuff. Just like the phases for me as a Nintendo fan. So let me just talk about what's happening around this time. I was super worried because Nintendo was starting to not have very good. They were having good games, they weren't making much money. For those of you know, even though the Wii U has some good games, it's a failure. Like, financially, it hardly made any money. The Switch is doing really well, so that's good. So this game gave me some hope, even though it really didn't help that much. But it was a very successful game, it just didn't help the console get much more success. Right now, I think Splatoon 2 is has almost sold 1 million copies already, and it's only been out for like 3 or 4 days, so that's insane. Yeah, so that's basically how I feel right now about these characters. Anyway, I'm going to start doing a history of Nintendo series after this, so I just want to state like why I like them, what I'm into about them. So next will be the history of Nintendo. They'll probably be up tomorrow at some point. I'll still be doing my actual gaming videos, and I actually might have it up tonight. Bye-bye.
Hey, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Check out the next video if you want to. Peace out.